Brilliance Audio presents Walk a Crooked Line by Susan McBride, performed by Christina Traister. It was a long way up. She put her hands on the rungs of the rusted ladder and peered through the twilight at the old water tower. The wind whistled across its underbelly, drowning out the hum of late summer cicadas. A loose chain clanked. Metal banging metal, the sound at once tuneless and mournful. Beyond the looming silhouette, the moon's crescent yellow winked at her, then disappeared behind a cloud, as if turning its back on her too. Kelly sucked in a deep breath. Her canvas sneakers soaked up the damp of the overgrown grass as she hesitated. What was she waiting for? She wasn't afraid. She'd climbed the tower before. They all had. It was what kids did around here on their very first dare, and then a dozen times after until it wasn't a big deal anymore. But this time, she needed a poke. She closed her eyes and replayed the words in her head that she couldn't shake, no matter how hard she tried to forget them. You're a slut. You're worthless. You're a liar. No one wants you. No one loves you. No one will miss you when you're gone. That saying about sticks and stones breaking bones and names never hurting, it was a bunch of crap. Words burned like fire, just as they were meant to. I give up, she whispered to the wind, uncurling her fingers from the ladder to wipe at tears with the back of her hand. You win. It would have been enough to break her heart if her heart hadn't been broken already. Everyone she'd trusted, everyone she'd loved, they'd all left her, hadn't they? Her dad was gone. He'd split a long time ago. He had another family in a different city. A wife and kids he loved so much that he even forgot to call on her birthday. Her mother barely seemed aware that she existed, and even when she did, all she seemed to do was spew lame advice. You're young, Kel, she'd say, only half listening. You'll get over it. Live and learn. Maybe she was just 15, but she'd learned enough already, like the fact that grown-ups sometimes weren't, and parents didn't always put their children first. Even people who swore they cared about you cared about themselves more. And if they wanted to, if they needed to make themselves feel better about their own crappy lives, they could take everything that was you, all that was shiny and bright, and snuff it out in an instant, like turning off a light. She stopped brushing tears from her cheeks. Instead, she let them fall. Like everything else, it wasn't worth the fight. She inhaled the muggy air, filling up her lungs, and then she began to climb, not glancing down, not changing her mind. She just kept going up and up and up. By the time she reached the catwalk, the faint purple of twilight had been swallowed by darkness. With a grunt, she stepped onto the gridded path that ringed the tower. A slim guardrail was all that stood between her and the sky. The faded black letters that spelled out Plainfield across the barrel flaked beneath her touch as she trailed her fingers, moving forward. Someone had spray-painted Ty plus Anna in white, and Kelly found herself wondering who Ty and Anna were. Were they still together? Somehow she doubted it. Nothing good ever seemed to last for long. She turned around to the night, gray clouds scudding across a navy background. A few stars began to twinkle like fireflies tapping at the darkness. Instinctively, she reached out a hand, imagining that she could touch them. How tall she felt, how high above it all. Windows glowed in the homes lined up in neat rows beyond the pasture. From where she stood, they appeared the size of dollhouses. Between them, headlamps swept away down the road. No one knew where she was. No one gave her a second thought. Her mother wasn't even home. The wind plucked at her hair, tossing it into her eyes. Kelly shivered. It was colder up here than on the ground. Or maybe those goosebumps were nerves. She glanced down. The grass below looked pitch black. More a void than a cushion. She hoped it was soft. Not that it would matter.